Welcome back to the Wheelin' Racing channel. Now it's been a little bit since I've got a video out. I've been kind of busy getting back into full training, and then also I got to work on my basement a little bit more than I had maybe planned because finally got some drywall. I had a lot of a 2x4 staged up, but I hadn't quite finished the drywall, so now that I have it, it's having a hard time pulling away from it. So apologies for the delay. A little bit that's passed since our last video. I did do some racing. So I did the Elkhart time trial where I was able to take the win. I was a little bit slower than I was last month, which honestly I was still pretty happy with it given the fact that I haven't really been doing a lot of hard biking. My hard bike prior to that would have been the Sakari road race where I helped out some of my teammates, and so I was pretty satisfied with that effort. I then went on to go to Okoboji on that Saturday. Did a sprint triathlon, which ended very well. It was a tight one, so I actually had a really good swim. I was able to, I think it's 1,000 yards, kind of a weird one, but I was able to swim like 12 mid. I don't have the exact number, apologies for that. But either way, I was able to get about 2.5 minutes on most of my competition, especially the league competition, which was going to be the winner of the previous 9 editions of it, which was Taylor Huseman. So got a good gap there. Fast transition, headed out to the bike. Really was a good bike. There was a little bit of hesitation, mostly because it was super foggy and my visor was not ready for that. And so I was actually peering through a little hole in the top of my helmet, not the safest, and so probably there was a little bit of speed to be gained just from not wanting to push too hard. And then also I was still kind of under doctor's orders to maybe keep it a little bit moderate, so didn't push it too crazy. But then come towards the end of the bike, I actually got caught. Did not realize I was getting caught because every time I looked back there was nothing. But Taylor came up on me pretty hot. I think he ended up getting about 15, maybe 20 seconds on me going into the transition. And then I had a wicked fast transition compared to him, so I actually came out in front and I actually held that lead on the run. It was not the most pretty run. It was about 5:35 pace per mile, and I wasn't really able to get my legs to turn it over. Luckily, I was able to sprint down the finish and was able to get a 2-second win over Taylor, which is $300 for first place. So that was good to get some of the trip paid for, and also I had some teammates, some RynoVelo teammates were out there, so that was good and fun. And Elise also came out. She reached the half marathon, and then some WR supporters. Sarah Bennett was able to race the tri with me. We were right next to each other in the rack, so it was kind of fun having our trivia night buddies there. So yeah, that was a good time. I actually came back the next day, which, yeah, I know, 3 races right next to each other after I just get back, but these are more just kind of fun and getting a baseline. And so I was actually able to swim at the Masters swim meet, where it was a small amount of competition. I raced the 1500 meter. I got second to some stud that's like, I think it's 55 years old. Beat me by about 50 seconds, and so it was good to have some competition and go to get a 1500 meter official start. I was able to go 19:57, which my goal was to be under 20 minutes, and so I was really happy with that. Gives me hope that once I actually start to get in some serious training, I should be able to, maybe go towards that 18 flat mark, which I think would be great, especially when we come towards Ironman Arizona. So, last video, I said that I was going to kind of give a bike overview, which I will do. I'm going to throw the video that I took last week in here, but one thing I wanted to cover was kind of give a little bit of a insight to what my next few months will look like too. These are more general, and then we had the swim kind of getting a little more specific, and then we'll get a little more specific with the bike segment that I'm going to give up next. So without further ado, so this is kind of a rough outline of what we're going to see over the next few months. So we got August coming up. We're only less than a week away from August, and so my main goal is going to be to try to get my volume back up to that 20+ hour mark. And so while doing that, I'm actually going to throw in some more fun races. One that I just recently thrown on the calendar was Twin Lakes. It's been since 2010 that I have done this race. On that day, it was my first completed triathlon. I had attempted a triathlon prior to that, but did not make it to the swim due to pneumonia. So it'll be good to go back. I got 12th on the day and had one of the worst bikes, and I was able to only run a 24-minute 5K at the time. So nothing too crazy. And then I'm going to go with my trivia buddies again. This time we're going to go over to Storm Lake, and we're going to do Storm the Lake. I'm going to do the bike leg. We're going to have Alex Bennett is going to be doing the swim leg, and then Elise is going to be our runner. And hopefully we can have a good time out there. I'm pretty excited to just get a dub with the team. Excuse me. And then we move on to September. So again, this is going to be another heavy block. This is going to be, after I built the volume up from August, we're going to get some heavy training in. I've actually only got one race scheduled, potentially, and that's going to be Capital Pursuit. Not 100% sure if I'm going to do it. I'm pretty sure I am, but if the volume's too heavy and I don't feel like I can perform to the level I want to, we might pull out of that one. But I haven't signed up, so pulling out, maybe not the right word. But anyway, that last week after Capital Pursuit, I will take a down week, because then we're going to be leading into 2 weeks later. We've got Blazing 5K. This is my baby. This is going to be a really fast 5K. I'm hoping a lot of people come out. We should see some incredible times, maybe seeing our first sub 14 for the men's side, and we can get back and maybe see some sub 16s on the women's side. So that'll be fun. 1 week later, we're going to have IMT half marathon. So I use the 5K as kind of like a tune-up, and for those that are in town, they want to do both. They can do the 5K, you know, and then 7 days later, you'll be able to do the half marathon, whatever you please. So that's kind of what October looks like. And then I guess past the IMT half, we're going to start a big block. This block will not end until we get to Ironman Arizona. I don't plan on putting anything in there. It may be, you know, it's mid-month, so I don't really see myself finding a small race to necessarily tune up on. But towards the end of October, beginning of November, I will be doing a kind of simulation. It's going to be towards the 70.3 distance, just to get the snappiness and the triathlonness ready and before it gets too cold over here. And pretty excited to do that. I think we're just going to do it here in Des Moines, maybe on the Des Moines course. So that's what our training is going to look like over the next few months. On top of that, like I said, we're going to talk about the bike. So over to me. We are out here today on the bike, doing my best. Wild Van Aert in the green jersey, pulling my GC contender. Yeah, so as I mentioned last week, this week's topic is going to be the bike, so this is fitting. Yeah, so I mean, I obviously think that fueling played a big part in what went wrong in Des Moines. But I do think there are some changes I can still make as far as it goes for training. So first things first, I think I'm going to continue using Trainer Road. I think it's a good tool to keep me under control for the days I need to stay under control, but also make me hit those threshold days, those tempo days, things I may not hit as much of. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that actually probably an easy Monday. Keep it the same way. Maybe I'll throw a bike on that day. And then the plan will be to do a threshold ride over the lunch hour for Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm actually going to bump up the volume a little bit. We're going to do an evening ride, but we're going to probably approach that 2.5, 3 hour mark a little bit more often. Just use that as a day I bump up the volume a bit and maybe do some intervals and meet up with Sakari guys when I'm available. And then Thursday, it'll probably be another kind of evening ride. That's the one where I'll do a little bit of a break off the ride. And then Friday, there's a good chance I take that off of riding to prepare for a kind of harder, longer ride on Saturday, and then just kind of finish the week off on Sunday with a probably lighter ride, but maybe a few hit intervals there. So, you know, looking at 5 to 6 days of riding a week, and you know, 2 to 3 days of threshold. Those will also blend in with some VO2 max sessions as well, and then keeping that key long ride with Ironman and half Ironman effort intervals on it. So that's kind of what the bike's going to look like. On top of that, of course, we've got the strength, especially lower body will help with that, and that's going to be that weekend strength session. And then yeah, past that, not a whole lot for the bike. I mean, I'll always be chasing CDA, trying to get that a little bit lower. Small adjustments here or there, but honestly, I'm going to keep the same path I kept otherwise. I think I had a pretty good build going into Des Moines and felt stronger than I ever have on the bike, so that's good. If it ain't broken, don't change it. So that'll kind of be it for the week. I just got done with my 1500 meter swim at the Masters meet, aiming for a sub 20. Was able to go 19:57, just sneak under there. Kind of could see that I was just on pace. This is 1500 meters, so was riding route 40 seconds per 50 meters, 120, which ends up being like about 112-ish, 113 per 100 yards. So that was good. Yesterday, I'll go try. Off not a lot of training. Was able to come away with a win by 2 seconds, so that's pretty exciting. And then the day, 2 days before that, I had Elkhart, where I was able to defend my title in the open time trial. It's 12K. I was able to average like 26.5. So we're on a good track. We actually aren't as bad as we maybe would anticipate coming off of, you know, this is the end of week 3, so I'll be starting week 4 come Monday. So we're looking good. I'm excited. A week of good training, and then we got Bix 2 weeks from now, and August is pretty much just training. So looking forward to that. Get some good summer training. So thanks again for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Have fun? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah? I'm on camera, I'm being held hostage.